Okay, there are few final warnings for IELTS reading, and these are going to be the final warnings. There is the phrase that is what we call hedge phrases. Hedge. You remember the name? No, I'll not say that. Okay, hedge phrases. Hedge is basically like a bush, right? Plants, some are like bushes, so hedge is like that, right? There are some hedge phrases. Now what happens in the bush? In the bush, somebody can hide. Even the animals can hide themselves in the bush. Nobody can see them. You sometimes say, oh, a man was, or the thief was hiding behind the bush or in the bush. So hedge phrase is basically a phrase that is hidden and the meaning is somewhat different. Okay. Now, once again, you need to watch out for hedge phrases. You need to see what can be the hedge. Sometimes, you know, they say one statement, and you being an innocent candidate of IELTS, okay, I got the answer, this is the answer, and you write it down, and very cleverly the next line they have written however, on the contrary, right? So however means this is not correct, this is something else, right? So that's what you need to see. Now what are the hedge phrases? And well, you can do one thing. When you are scanning, as I told you before in the previous video, I told you that you can underline, you can encircle, right? Or you can use the speech bubbles, stars, whatever, right? That's one thing. You need to, because these hedge phrases or hedge words are few. So you can keep them in mind. Wherever you find a hedge word or a hedge phrase, there you can put a big underline because you have to be extra careful. So these hedge phrases are like likely. Now when they say likely means it actually doesn't happen. There are chances of something to take place, right? For example, if they say petroleum prices are likely to increase, it does not mean petroleum prices have increased. Now if the statement is true, false, not given, petroleum prices have increased, and there the sentence in the passage is petroleum prices are likely to increase. If you are innocent, you'll say, yes, it is true. Actually, it is false. Likely to increase means there are chances, but actually they have not increased. So it's likely. Then the words like may. May means there are chances of something to happen. Can. Okay, so the hedge phrases like often, sometimes, almost, mostly. Mostly means for the most part, right? Something happens, usually, generally, rarely, and sometimes. Now the question writers actually insert these hedge phrases to cover every possibility, right? They're covering every possibility. If they say mostly this happens, it means sometimes it doesn't happen as well, right? So for example, often an answer will be wrong simply because it leaves no room for any exception. For instance, if I say animals have a long life in cold places. Animals have a long life in cold places than animals in warm places. Right? Now when you say this statement, does it leave any option? It doesn't leave any option. Animals have a long life in cold places than animals in warm places. If I say animals are likely to live longer, or mostly animals live longer, it leaves the room for exceptions as well, right? So this answer choice is wrong actually, because it does not leave any room for exception. So when you read the answer choices, you got to see that as well. This is important. Correct answer choices will typically have a key word, a key hedge word. Usually, if there is the word likely, if there is the word may, can, means that answer is going to be correct. This is another secret technique which can help you. Okay, switchback words. There are some words, they actually switch you back, right? We also call it referencing. Stay alert for switchbacks. Now what is a switchback? I'm going to explain that. These are the words and phrases frequently used to alert you to shifts in thought. Switchback words are used when they are shifting the thoughts of the writer of the passage. The most common switchback word is but, right? For example, I really want to help you, but. Do you understand? I say I really want to help you, but. Now but is basically a switchback word, means I'm saying something positive, but when I'm saying but, it means I'm going to say something negative afterwards, right? For example, if I say, he always reaches here at 7 o'clock. However, now however means it's going to be a switchback word, right? So you need to be careful about the switchback words. These words include like although, right? Then we've got however, nevertheless, on the other hand. On the other hand means it's going to shift. One thing is mentioned, on the other hand is totally opposite of that, right? So that's why we call it switchback words. Okay, on the other hand, even though, while, in spite of, despite, regardless of. So these type of words are basically the switchback words, right? They actually change the situation. The last, avoid fact traps. You know, in IELTS reading there are many traps, and there is the last type of trap which is called fact trap, a trap of the fact. Okay, now what is that? Once you know which paragraph the answer will be in, focus on that paragraph. You know, question number 12, the answer is in the third paragraph. You need to focus on that paragraph. However, don't get distracted by a choice that is factually true about the paragraph. Sometimes an answer choice can be factually true, but you got to see according to the writer, because you know there is another ability to understand or to differentiate opinion from the fact. One thing is opinion, one thing is fact. For example, if I say, I think petroleum prices are very high in the poor countries. I think petroleum prices are very high in the poor countries. Is it an opinion or fact? It's an opinion. It is an opinion, by the way. And if I say petroleum prices are high, I'm not saying in my opinion. Petroleum prices are always high in the poor countries. It's a fact, because it's not said by somebody. It's going to be a fact. So sometimes your answer will be based on fact. Sometimes your answer will be based on opinion. So you should be able to differentiate fact from opinion. Okay, stay focused and don't fall for an answer that describes the larger picture of the paragraph. This is another important point. Especially there is a type of question, we call it list of headings. List of headings, it's very confusing type of questions. In list of headings, if there are 4 paragraphs labeled, they will give you 7 headings. 3 headings are extra, right? 4 paragraphs are labeled A, B, C, D, and they will give you 7 headings, and then they will ask you give appropriate heading to these 4 paragraphs. Now 4 headings are accurate headings for the paragraph. 3 headings are extra, and the extra headings are not irrelevant. They are very much relevant. Now when you are going to look for the heading, paragraph heading, don't consider what does the individual lines of the paragraph say. You need to see what is the opinion, or what is the fact, or what is going to be the gist of the paragraph. Gist means summary. What is going to be the, don't just say the first 2 lines say this, the middle 2 lines say this. In the broader picture, you have to see what does this paragraph try to cover, regardless of individual sentences. Don't say the sentence number 1 is about this, this is my heading. So those 3 headings are actually taken from the sentences, but 4 headings are covering the whole paragraph. So the heading you select should be like an umbrella. That heading should cover all the aspects of that very paragraph. So for list of headings, this is what you need to do. That's all for now, and I wish you all the best with your IELTS reading, and I will upload more videos. If you like this video, please hit on the like button, and don't forget to subscribe my channel, because from time to time I upload videos on IELTS and they will literally help you. And I also teach IELTS in Lahore, Pakistan. If you belong to Lahore, Pakistan, you can join my classes, and if you wish to join online classes, my contact number is given. You can contact me on WhatsApp, and then I can arrange for you the online classes as well. Thanks a lot. See you soon.